Imagine a time long ago, when the world was young and mysterious, and stories were whispered by firelight under a blanket of stars. These were not just tales, but windows into a world where gods and mortals intertwined, where heroes rose from humble beginnings to defy fate and shape the very fabric of existence. This is the realm of Greek mythology, where each tale carries with it a heartbeat of human emotion and an echo of timeless truths. In this ancient tapestry of myths, perhaps none resonate as deeply as the stories of heroes. These were not just ordinary men and women, but individuals chosen by destiny to embark on quests that would test their courage, strength, and virtue. They faced monsters that embodied fears and challenges that mirrored the struggles of humanity itself. Their journeys were not merely physical adventures, but spiritual odysseys that illuminated the complexities of human nature. At the heart of Greek mythology lies the profound significance of heroes. They were more than just figures of legend, they embodied the aspirations and ideals of a culture striving to understand its place in the cosmos. Heroes like Perseus, Hercules, and Odysseus were not born extraordinary, but their paths were forged through trials that revealed their true character. Take, for instance, the story of Perseus, born to Danae, a mortal woman, and Zeus, the king of the gods. His birth was shrouded in prophecy, foretelling that he would one day slay a monstrous Gorgon named Medusa. This prophecy set in motion a series of events that would shape Perseus' destiny and define his legacy. Here was a hero born in the shadow of fate, destined to confront unimaginable challenges. The significance of heroes in Greek mythology extends beyond their feats of strength and valor. They serve as archetypes of human potential, embodying virtues such as courage, resilience, and wisdom. These qualities resonate across cultures and generations because they speak to fundamental truths about the human experience, the struggle against adversity, the pursuit of justice, and the quest for self-discovery. As we journey through the tales of Greek heroes, we encounter moments that evoke goosebumps and stir the soul. Consider the legendary 12 labors of Hercules, each a Herculean task that tested his strength and endurance. From slaying the Nemean lion to capturing the golden hind of Artemis, each labor showcased not only Hercules' physical prowess, but also his determination to atone for past sins and earn redemption. Heroes are not immune to tragedy or hardship. Their stories often weave a tapestry of triumph and loss, victory and sacrifice. Take the tragic tale of Orpheus, whose love for his wife Eurydice transcended even death itself. Armed only with his lyre and his voice, Orpheus descended into the underworld to plead for her return. His music moved the hearts of gods and shades alike, yet in a moment of doubt, he turned to look back, losing Eurydice forever. In these stories, we find echoes of our own struggles and aspirations. They remind us that heroism is not defined by the absence of fear, but by the courage to face it. Each hero's journey is a mirror held up to humanity, reflecting our capacity for greatness and our frailties. It is through their trials and tribulations that we find solace and inspiration, knowing that even in the darkest of times, there is hope. Greek mythology offers us a glimpse into a world where gods walked among mortals and heroes challenged fate itself. These stories continue to resonate because they speak to universal themes of love, betrayal, honor, and destiny. They remind us that we are part of a larger narrative where each of us plays a role in shaping our own destiny. As we immerse ourselves in the tales of Greek heroes, let us not simply marvel at their deeds, but also reflect on the lessons they impart. Their stories are not just legends, but guides that illuminate the path to self-discovery and understanding. They teach us that heroism is not measured by the greatness of deeds alone, but by the nobility of spirit and the willingness to confront the unknown. In conclusion, Greek mythology and its heroes are timeless treasures that continue to captivate and inspire. They invite us to look beyond the surface of their adventures and delve into the depths of human experience. Through their stories, we find courage in adversity, wisdom in uncertainty, and hope in the face of despair. These are the tales that resonate with us because they speak to the very essence of what it means to be human, to strive, to endure, and to believe in something greater than ourselves. In the realm of ancient myths, there exists a tale that stirs the soul and echoes through the ages, a story of bravery, destiny, and the enduring power of myth. This is the tale of Perseus, a hero whose journey from humble beginnings to legendary status captivates hearts and minds alike. Perseus' story begins with a prophecy, as many great tales do. Acrisius, king of Argos, learns from an oracle that his daughter Danae will bear a son who will one day cause his demise. Fearing this fate, Acrisius imprisons Danae in a bronze chamber, hoping to thwart the prophecy. Yet, even the strongest walls cannot defy destiny, for Zeus, king of the gods, finds a way to Danae in the form of a golden shower. Thus, Perseus is conceived, a child of both mortal and divine lineage, destined for greatness. As Perseus grows, so too does the shadow of prophecy. His early years are marked by uncertainty and peril, yet fate guides him to the island of Serifos, where he is raised by Dictys, a fisherman who shows him kindness in a world fraught with danger. Little does Perseus know that his journey is just beginning, and that the gods themselves have plans for him. The pivotal moment in Perseus' tale arrives with a fateful demand, the head of Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze turns mortals to stone. Athena and Hermes, patrons of heroes, come to Perseus' aid, offering guidance and gifts to aid him in his quest. With a bronze shield polished to a mirror's sheen, a helm of invisibility, and winged sandals to hasten his steps, Perseus embarks on a quest that will test his courage and define his legacy. The journey to Medusa's lair is fraught with peril and uncertainty, yet Perseus presses on, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to prove himself worthy of his lineage. Along the way, he encounters allies and adversaries alike, each offering lessons and challenges that shape his character and prepare him for the ultimate confrontation. At last, Perseus stands before the lair of Medusa, a labyrinthine cavern where darkness reigns and silence hangs heavy as a shroud. With heart pounding and breath held, he confronts the Gorgon, whose serpentine locks writhe with malice and whose gaze could turn a man to stone with but a glance. Drawing upon his gifts and guided by the wisdom of Athena, Perseus uses the reflective shield to glimpse Medusa's form without meeting her eyes. In a swift and decisive strike, he severs her head from her shoulders, a feat of bravery and skill that echoes through the annals of myth. Yet, the tale of Perseus does not end with the slaying of Medusa. On his journey home, he encounters trials and tribulations that test his resolve and challenge his newfound status as a hero. From the rescue of Andromeda, a princess bound to a cruel fate, to the accidental fulfillment of prophecy that brings tragedy to those he loves, Perseus navigates a world where even victory comes at a cost. The cultural impact of Perseus' story is profound and far-reaching, influencing art, literature, and the collective imagination of generations. Artists throughout history have captured the moment of Medusa's demise in stone and paint, each rendition a testament to the enduring power of myth to evoke awe and inspiration. Writers and poets have woven Perseus' tale into the tapestry of their works, exploring themes of heroism, fate, and the complexities of human emotion. But perhaps the true resonance of Perseus' story lies not in its artistic interpretations, but in its timeless themes that speak to the human experience. Perseus is not just a hero of myth, but a symbol of the courage to confront adversity, the resilience to persevere in the face of uncertainty, and the strength to defy fate itself. His journey is our journey, a quest for meaning and purpose in a world where challenges abound and choices define our destinies. In the end, the story of Perseus reminds us that heroes are not born, but forged through trials that test their mettle and shape their character. It is through their struggles and triumphs that we find inspiration and hope, knowing that even in the darkest of times, there exists the possibility of light. Perseus' tale is a testament to the power of myth to transcend time and space, touching hearts and minds with its timeless truths and stirring emotions that resonate across cultures and generations alike. In the shadow of an ancient prophecy, a tale unfolds that is as old as time itself, a story that begins with a golden shower from the gods and ends with a hero's rise against fate. This is the story of Perseus, whose very birth is a testament to the capricious whims of the gods and the enduring power of destiny. Acrisius, the king of Argos, had been warned by an oracle that his daughter Danae would bear a son who would one day bring about his downfall. Driven by fear and the need to protect his throne, Acrisius took drastic measures. He sealed Danae within a bronze chamber, a prison so secure that no man could enter, leaving her isolated and alone. Yet, even the strongest barriers cannot keep out the will of the gods. As Danae sat alone, the heavens opened, and Zeus, the king of the gods, descended in a shower of gold. The very sky seemed to part, and golden rays of sunlight streamed through the cracks of her confinement, wrapping Danae in a warm embrace. It was a moment of sheer magic, a divine intervention that defied all logic and reason. In that moment, a child was conceived, a child destined to alter the course of destiny. When Acrisius discovered what had happened, his rage was boundless. The sight of his daughter with child was more than he could bear. Yet, even in his fury, he could not defy the prophecy. Fearing the fulfillment of the oracle's words, Acrisius cast Danae and her newborn son, Perseus, into a wooden chest and set them adrift on the open sea. The chest, though a symbol of his despair, became a vessel of hope and survival, carried by the gentle waves towards a new fate. As the chest bobbed and swayed on the vast ocean, the gods watched over Danae and Perseus. The sea, usually a vast expanse of peril, became a pathway to safety. The waves carried them to the shores of Serifos, where a kind-hearted fisherman named Dictys found them, adrift and near death. Dictys, moved by compassion, took them in, providing shelter and love to the mother and child. In the warmth of Dictys' home, Perseus grew, his early years filled with the simple joys of a life unmarred by the weight of prophecy. But even in this haven, the shadow of fate loomed large. King Polydectes, Dictys' brother, ruled Serifos with a cruel hand. He saw Danae's beauty and sought to make her his queen, regardless of her wishes. When Perseus, now a young man, defended his mother, Polydectes, enraged by the defiance of the boy who did not know his place, hatched a plan to rid himself of Perseus once and for all. He devised a cruel ruse, demanding that Perseus bring him the head of Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze could turn men to stone. The task was impossible, yet Perseus, fueled by love for his mother and the need to protect her, accepted the challenge. He set forth, guided by the gods themselves, who bestowed upon him gifts to aid his quest. Athena gave him a polished shield, its surface like a mirror, to view Medusa without meeting her deadly gaze. Hermes, the messenger god, provided a sword, sharp and unyielding. With these divine tools and his heart full of resolve, Perseus ventured into the unknown, his destiny now intertwined with the fate of the Gorgon. The path to Medusa's lair was fraught with danger, each step a testament to Perseus' bravery and determination. He faced trials that tested his courage, from navigating treacherous landscapes to encountering the Graeae, the ancient sisters who shared a single eye and tooth. With cunning and wit, Perseus wrested the secrets of Medusa's location from them, continuing his journey with unwavering resolve. The moment of confrontation with Medusa was one of heart-pounding intensity. As he stood before the Gorgon, the air seemed to thicken with the weight of destiny. The reflection in his shield was his only guide, a shimmering pathway to victory. In a swift, decisive strike, Perseus severed Medusa's head, the final act of a quest that had begun with a prophecy and ended with a triumph over the impossible. With the head of Medusa in hand, Perseus' journey was far from over. He returned to Serifos, where the challenges of his life continued to unfold, each step a testament to his growth from a boy into a hero. The tale of Perseus is not just one of myth and legend, but of a journey that speaks to the heart of human experience, the fight against overwhelming odds, the quest for justice, and the enduring belief that even the most insurmountable challenges can be overcome with courage and faith. In the kingdom of Argos, where the sun painted the cliffs golden and the wind carried whispers of prophecy, there lived a king named Acrisius. He was a ruler whose heart was heavy with concern, for an oracle's words had cast a shadow over his kingdom, a prophecy that foretold his downfall at the hands of his own flesh and blood. The oracle's voice echoed through the halls of Acrisius' palace, a haunting melody of doom that chilled the air and made the king's blood run cold. It spoke of his daughter, Danae, a beauty with hair like spun gold and eyes that held the light of the stars. The oracle warned that Danae would bear a son whose very existence would bring about the king's demise. Terrified by the prophecy, Acrisius sought to defy fate itself. He could not bear the thought of his own blood turning against him, of his kingdom crumbling beneath the weight of destiny's cruel hand. In a desperate bid to avert disaster, Acrisius devised a plan born of fear and desperation. He imprisoned Danae in a chamber of bronze, a fortress that seemed impenetrable to mortal eyes. Within the confines of her prison, Danae found herself at the mercy of fate's cruel whims. The walls around her were cold and unforgiving, a stark reminder of her father's fear and the shadow that hung over her like a shroud. Yet, even in darkness, there flickered a spark of hope, a spark that would ignite the flame of Perseus' destiny. It was in this chamber of bronze that Zeus, the king of the gods, saw Danae and was captivated by her beauty. He could not resist the pull of mortal desire, nor could he ignore the oracle's prophecy that spoke of a child who would shape the course of history. And so, Zeus descended from Olympus in a shower of gold, his divine presence illuminating the darkness and filling Danae's heart with wonder. The golden rain fell like tears from the heavens, wrapping Danae in a cocoon of warmth and light. In that moment, she knew that she was not alone, that the gods themselves had intervened to change the course of her fate. As Zeus' golden touch mingled with hers, Danae felt a stirring within her womb, a whisper of life that defied the confines of her prison and reached out to embrace the world beyond. When Acrisius discovered what had transpired, his fury knew no bounds. The prophecy had come to pass, and his worst fears had been realized. In his rage, he condemned Danae and her newborn son, Perseus, to a fate as cruel as the prophecy itself. He locked them within a chest of wood and cast them adrift upon the tumultuous sea, a sea that mirrored the tumult in his own heart. As the chest bobbed upon the waves, Danae held her son close, her heart heavy with sorrow and uncertainty. Yet, even in the face of despair, she clung to hope, for the gods had shown their favor, and Perseus was destined for greatness. The sea, once a symbol of peril, became a pathway to salvation, guiding mother and child to the shores of Serifos, where destiny awaited them with open arms. It was on the island of Serifos that Perseus found refuge in the home of Dictys, a humble fisherman whose heart overflowed with kindness. Dictys took them in as his own, offering shelter and solace in a world that had been unkind. Under his care, Perseus grew strong and brave, his spirit forged by the trials of his early years and the love that surrounded him. Yet, even in the tranquility of Serifos, the shadow of prophecy lingered. King Polydectes, brother to Dictys, coveted Danae's beauty and sought to claim her as his own. When Perseus, now a young man of courage and conviction, stood in defense of his mother, Polydectes saw an opportunity to rid himself of a rival. He devised a scheme so cunning and cruel that it would test Perseus' resolve and set him upon a path that would lead to destiny's door. In his quest to avoid the prophecy's grip, Acrisius had unwittingly set events in motion that would shape the course of history. His fear had driven him to desperate measures, yet in his efforts to defy fate, he had only hastened its arrival. The tale of King Acrisius and his doomed attempt to escape destiny serves as a poignant reminder of the futility of human endeavor against the will of the gods, a cautionary tale that echoes through the ages, carrying with it the weight of hubris and the inevitability of fate. In the tranquil waters of the Aegean Sea lies an island cloaked in the embrace of myths and legends. This is Serifos, a place where the sun paints the cliffs in hues of gold at dawn and the sea whispers secrets to those who listen. Here, amidst the gentle rhythm of waves and the salt-tinged breeze, a story unfolds, a tale of love, sacrifice, and the bond between a boy and his surrogate father. Perseus, born of divine lineage and mortal flesh, found himself cast adrift upon the whims of fate. His mother, Danae, imprisoned by the fear of a prophecy, had been thrust into the tumultuous sea along with her newborn son. Their vessel, a chest of wood that bobbed and swayed upon the waves, bore witness to the mercy of the gods, guiding them to the shores of Serifos. It was here that their journey found an unexpected haven in the heart of Dictys, a fisherman whose soul was as vast and deep as the ocean itself. Dictys, with weathered hands and a heart softened by compassion, discovered the chest upon the shore, a vessel carrying not just mother and child, but hope amidst the uncertainty of their fate. As he opened the lid, he beheld Danae, weary yet resilient, cradling her infant son with a tenderness that spoke volumes of her love. In that moment, Dictys made a choice that would alter the course of their lives forever. He welcomed them into his humble abode, offering sanctuary from a world that had shown them only hardship. Under Dictys' care, Perseus grew from a vulnerable babe into a spirited youth, his laughter echoing through the seaside village like the song of the waves upon the shore. In the warmth of Dictys' hearth, he found solace and stability, his days filled with the simple pleasures of fishing and exploring the rugged terrain of Serifos. It was a childhood woven with threads of love and guidance, a tapestry of moments that shaped his character and forged bonds stronger than blood. Dictys, a father in all but name, imparted wisdom to Perseus as they cast their nets into the azure depths of the sea. He taught him the ways of the ocean, the ebb and flow of tides, the dance of sunlight upon the waves, and the secrets whispered by the winds that swept across the island. Yet, beyond practical knowledge, Dictys instilled in Perseus values that transcended the challenges of their circumstances: integrity, resilience, and compassion for all creatures great and small. As Perseus grew older, he became aware of the shadows that lingered over his mother's past, the prophecy that had cast a pall upon their lives since his birth. He saw the lines etched upon her face, a testament to the burden she carried, and vowed to protect her from the specter of destiny's cruel hand. It was a vow forged in the crucible of love and tempered by the lessons imparted by Dictys, a promise to shield his mother from harm, no matter the cost. Yet fate, relentless in its pursuit, had other plans for Perseus. King Polydectes, ruler of Serifos and brother to Dictys, beheld Danae's beauty and coveted her as his queen. When Perseus, in defense of his mother's honor, defied the king's advances, Polydectes seized upon an opportunity to rid himself of a perceived threat. He devised a treacherous scheme, a challenge that would test Perseus' courage and determine the course of his destiny. The king demanded the head of Medusa, the dreaded Gorgon whose gaze turned mortals to stone, a task deemed impossible by any measure. Yet, driven by a son's love and a determination born of hardship, Perseus accepted the challenge. Armed with divine gifts bestowed upon him by Athena and Hermes, a polished shield that reflected without revealing, winged sandals to hasten his steps, and a sword tempered with the courage of his convictions, he embarked on a journey that would lead him into the heart of darkness itself. In the depths of Serifos, beneath the watchful eyes of gods and men alike, Perseus' destiny awaited him. Yet, amidst the trials and tribulations that lay ahead, he carried with him the lessons learned from Dictys, the steadfastness of a father's love, the wisdom of a mentor's guidance, and the strength to face adversity with grace and courage. In the heart of this island paradise, where the sun kissed the horizon at dusk and the stars whispered secrets to the night sky, Perseus discovered the true meaning of family, a bond forged not by blood alone, but by the ties that bind heart to heart, soul to soul, in a journey that transcends the boundaries of myth and legend. In the dark recesses of ancient mythology, where the line between gods and monsters blurs, there exists a tale that sends shivers down the spine, a tale of creatures whose very existence strikes fear into the hearts of mortals. This is the story of Medusa and her sisters, the Gorgons, whose gaze could turn a man to stone and whose presence invoked both terror and fascination in equal measure. Medusa, with her serpentine locks and eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, was unlike any creature the world had known. She and her sisters, Steno and Euryale, were born of ancient sea deities, their lineage entwined with forces beyond mortal comprehension. It was said that their faces were so fearsome, their forms so monstrous, that even the gods themselves averted their gaze in their presence. The Gorgons dwelled in a remote corner of the world, hidden away from the prying eyes of humanity. Their lair, a labyrinthine cave guarded by the claws of stone guardians, echoed with the hiss of serpents and the cold breath of death. Within its depths, the sisters wove a tapestry of fear and despair, their very existence a testament to the capricious whims of fate and the boundaries between beauty and horror. Legend spoke of how the Gorgons came to be cursed by the gods, a punishment for their arrogance and hubris. Once fair maidens, they had attracted the attention of Poseidon, lord of the seas, who sought their favor. In a fit of jealousy and rage, Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, transformed them into monstrous creatures whose gaze would forever petrify any who dared to meet their eyes. Medusa, once a priestess of Athena herself, bore the brunt of the goddess' wrath. Her beauty, once a gift that had captivated hearts and minds, became a curse that isolated her from the world she had once known. Her hair, once lustrous and golden, twisted into serpents that hissed and coiled with malice. Yet, beneath this monstrous exterior lay a soul tormented by loneliness and longing, a soul that yearned for redemption and release from the shackles of her curse. The sisters, bound by blood and burdened by their fate, found solace in each other's company. They roamed the caverns of their lair, their serpentine forms gliding over rocks slick with the tears of their victims. Each day brought a new challenge, a new test of their resolve to endure in a world that shunned and feared them. Yet, amidst the darkness, there flickered a spark of sisterhood, a bond that transcended their monstrous visages and united them in a shared struggle for survival. To gaze upon the face of Medusa was to confront one's deepest fears and desires. Her eyes, once the windows to a soul filled with dreams and aspirations, now mirrored the emptiness of eternity, a void that swallowed hope and left only despair in its wake. Yet, beneath this mask of terror, lay a woman whose heart beat with the same passions and yearnings as any mortal, a woman who longed to be seen not as a monster, but as a being worthy of love and understanding. The legend of Medusa and her sisters resonates through the annals of mythology, a cautionary tale of the consequences of hubris and the fragility of beauty. It speaks to the duality of human nature, the capacity for both greatness and monstrosity that resides within us all. For Medusa, the curse of her transformation served as a mirror held up to humanity, reflecting our fears and insecurities back upon us with chilling clarity. Yet, amidst the terror and tragedy of her tale, there lies a glimmer of compassion, a reminder that even the most monstrous of creatures are capable of redemption. Medusa's story challenges us to look beyond appearances and confront the darkness within ourselves, to find empathy in the face of fear and courage in the presence of adversity. Her journey is a testament to the power of myth to provoke thought and stir emotions, reminding us that within every legend lies a kernel of truth waiting to be discovered. In the heart of ancient Greece, where the gods cast their shadows long and the whispers of fate echoed through marble halls, there lived a hero whose destiny was woven by the threads of prophecy. This is the story of Perseus, a tale that begins with an oracle's chilling words, a prophecy that would shape the course of his life and set him upon a path of courage, sacrifice, and self-discovery. From the moment of his birth, Perseus was marked by the hands of fate. Born of Danae, a woman whose beauty was surpassed only by her resilience, and Zeus, king of the gods whose divine touch brought forth the hero destined to alter the tapestry of mythology. Yet, amidst the golden reign that heralded his arrival, there hung a shadow, a prophecy foretelling a future filled with trials and tribulations. The oracle's voice, ancient and weighty with the wisdom of ages, spoke of Perseus' destiny with a clarity that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. It proclaimed that he would one day face a challenge of unimaginable peril, a quest that would demand not only bravery and skill, but also the courage to defy the gods themselves. For woven into the fabric of his fate was a demand so daunting that few mortals could contemplate it without trembling, a demand for the head of Medusa, the dreaded Gorgon whose gaze turned men to stone. The prophecy cast a pall over Perseus' youth, a shadow that followed him like a specter in the night. His childhood on the island of Serifos, under the loving care of Dictys the fisherman and the watchful eyes of his mother, Danae, was a time of innocence and joy tempered by the knowledge that his future was anything but certain. The weight of destiny bore down upon his shoulders, a burden that grew heavier with each passing day as he matured into a young man of strength and courage. As Perseus grew, so too did the whispers of his prophecy. Tales of heroes who had faced the wrath of the gods and emerged victorious filled the air like the scent of salt and sea. He heard of Theseus, who ventured into the labyrinth to confront the Minotaur, and of Heracles, whose labors tested his strength and resolve. Yet, none faced a challenge as perilous as his own, a challenge that would demand not only physical prowess, but also the wisdom to navigate the treacherous waters of fate. The oracle's prophecy became a specter that haunted Perseus' dreams, a relentless reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. He wrestled with doubt and fear, questioning his own ability to fulfill the demands of destiny. Yet, amidst the turmoil of his thoughts, there burned a fire fueled by love for his mother, Danae, and a determination to protect her from the darkness that threatened to engulf them both. It was in this crucible of uncertainty that Perseus found solace in the guidance of Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, and Hermes, the messenger god whose swift wings carried him to the heights of Olympus. They appeared to him as mentors and guardians, bestowing upon him gifts of divine origin, a polished shield that reflected without revealing, winged sandals to hasten his steps, and a sword tempered with the courage of his convictions. With these tools and the knowledge bestowed upon him by the gods, Perseus embarked upon a journey that would test his mettle and define his legacy. The path to Medusa's lair was fraught with danger and uncertainty, each step a testament to Perseus' resolve and determination. He traversed treacherous landscapes and faced adversaries whose very existence defied reason. Along the way, he encountered allies and adversaries alike, each offering lessons that would shape his character and prepare him for the ultimate confrontation. At last, Perseus stood before the labyrinthine cavern that housed Medusa and her sisters, the Gorgons. The air was thick with the scent of sulfur and the echoes of serpentine hisses that slithered through the darkness. With heart pounding and breath held, he ventured forth, guided by the shimmering reflection upon his shield, a mirror that offered a glimpse of Medusa's form without meeting her deadly gaze. In the depths of the cavern, amidst the coiling shadows and the petrified remains of those who had dared to confront her, Perseus faced the Gorgon whose name struck fear into the hearts of mortals. Medusa, with her serpentine locks and eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, awaited him with a gaze that could turn a man to stone with but a glance. Yet, armed with the gifts of the gods and fortified by the love that burned within his heart, Perseus struck with a swiftness and precision born of necessity and courage. In a single, decisive strike, he severed Medusa's head from her shoulders, a feat of bravery and skill that echoed through the annals of myth. With the head of the Gorgon in hand, Perseus emerged from the darkness victorious, his heart heavy with the weight of his triumph and the knowledge that his journey was far from over. The prophecy had been fulfilled, yet the trials that lay ahead would test Perseus' resolve and challenge his newfound status as a hero. From the rescue of Andromeda, a princess bound to a fate as cruel as any he had faced, to the accidental fulfillment of a prophecy that brought tragedy to those he loved, Perseus navigated a world where even victory came at a cost. Yet, amidst the trials and tribulations that marked his path, Perseus carried with him the lessons learned from his journey. A journey that began with an oracle's prophecy and ended with a hero's triumph over adversity. His story is not just one of myth and legend, but of the enduring power of love, courage, and the determination to defy fate itself. In the age when gods walked among mortals and legends were forged in the crucible of divine intervention, there existed a hero whose destiny was intertwined with the benevolence of two Olympian deities. This is the tale of Perseus, a young man burdened by prophecy and blessed by the hands of Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, and Hermes, the swift-footed messenger of the gods. From the moment of his birth, Perseus was marked by the capricious whims of fate. Born of Danae, a woman whose beauty captivated even the gods, and Zeus, king of Olympus whose divine touch brought forth the hero destined to shape the tapestry of myth, Perseus entered the world amidst both wonder and foreboding. Yet, it was not until the oracle's prophecy cast its chilling shadow upon his life that the true magnitude of his destiny became clear. The prophecy, spoken with the weight of ages and the certainty of fate, foretold of Perseus' future trials. It whispered of a quest so perilous that few mortals could contemplate it without trembling, a quest to bring forth the head of Medusa, the dreaded Gorgon whose gaze turned men to stone. This demand, steeped in danger and riddled with impossibility, hung over Perseus like a shroud, threatening to engulf him in doubt and fear. It was in this crucible of uncertainty that Athena and Hermes, moved by compassion and guided by foresight, descended from the heights of Olympus to aid the young hero on his journey. Athena, with eyes that shimmered with the wisdom of the ages and a heart tempered by the trials of warfare, saw in Perseus a spirit worthy of divine favor. Hermes, with his laughter that echoed like the melody of the wind and his swiftness that rivaled the flight of birds, saw in Perseus a kindred soul whose courage burned brightly in the face of adversity. Together, Athena and Hermes bestowed upon Perseus gifts of extraordinary power and significance. Athena presented him with a polished shield, crafted by Hephaestus himself, that bore the likeness of a mirror that would reflect without revealing. allowing Perseus to gaze upon the visage of Medusa without succumbing to her deadly gaze. This shield, a symbol of both protection and insight, became Perseus' steadfast companion as he ventured into the heart of darkness itself. Hermes, ever the cunning and resourceful deity, gifted Perseus with winged sandals that bore him aloft with the speed and grace of a falcon in flight. With each step, Hermes' divine gift carried Perseus closer to his goal, enabling him to traverse treacherous landscapes and evade the dangers that lurked in the shadows. These sandals, whose touch upon the earth was as fleeting as a whisper yet as powerful as a thunderclap, became a testament to Hermes' favor and a testament to Perseus' determination. Armed with the gifts of Athena and guided by the swiftness of Hermes, Perseus embarked upon a journey that would test his courage and define his legacy. He traversed rugged mountains and crossed tumultuous seas, each step a testament to his resolve and each challenge a testament to his determination. Along the way, he encountered allies and adversaries alike, each offering lessons that would shape his character and prepare him for the ultimate confrontation. At last, Perseus stood before the labyrinthine cavern that housed Medusa and her sisters, the Gorgons. The air was thick with the scent of sulfur and the echoes of serpentine hisses that slithered through the darkness. With heart pounding and breath held, he ventured forth, guided by the shimmering reflection upon his shield, a mirror that offered a glimpse of Medusa's form without meeting her deadly gaze. In the depths of the cavern, amidst the coiling shadows and the petrified remains of those who had dared to confront her, Perseus faced the Gorgon whose name struck fear into the hearts of mortals. Medusa, with her serpentine locks and eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, awaited him with a gaze that could turn a man to stone with but a glance. Yet, armed with the gifts of the gods and fortified by the love that burned within his heart, Perseus struck with a swiftness and precision born of necessity and courage. In a single, decisive strike, he severed Medusa's head from her shoulders, a feat of bravery and skill that echoed through the annals of myth. With the head of the Gorgon in hand, Perseus emerged from the darkness victorious, his heart heavy with the weight of his triumph and the knowledge that his journey was far from over. The aid of Athena and Hermes had been more than mere gifts of divine favor. They had been beacons of hope in a world shrouded in darkness, guiding Perseus through the trials and tribulations that marked his path. Their presence, though fleeting, had left an indelible mark upon his soul, instilling within him the courage to confront his fears and the wisdom to navigate the treacherous waters of fate. As Perseus returned from his quest, bearing the head of Medusa as proof of his triumph, he carried with him the lessons learned from his journey. A journey that had begun with an oracle's prophecy and ended with a hero's triumph over adversity. His story is not just one of myth and legend, but of the enduring power of love, courage, and the determination to defy fate itself. In the heart of a world where myths breathe life into legends, there exists a chapter in the tale of Perseus, a chapter that speaks of courage tested and allies found in the most unlikely of places. This is the journey of Perseus to find the Graeae, the three ancient sisters who guarded the secrets that would guide him on his quest to confront Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze turned men to stone. Perseus, adorned with the gifts of Athena and Hermes, a polished shield that reflected without revealing, winged sandals that carried him with the speed of wind, and a sword tempered with the courage of his convictions, set forth from Serifos, his heart heavy with the weight of prophecy and the determination to defy fate. His path led him through rugged terrain and across turbulent seas, each step a testament to his resolve and each challenge a testament to his growing prowess as a hero. As he ventured deeper into the unknown, guided by the whispers of the wind and the distant call of destiny, Perseus heard tales of the Graeae, a trio of ancient sisters who dwelled beyond the edge of the world, their ageless wisdom guarded by their shared eye and tooth. These sisters, born of the sea and the earth, possessed knowledge that could unlock the mysteries of the gods and pave the way for Perseus' ultimate confrontation with Medusa. The journey to find the Graeae was fraught with peril and uncertainty, each moment teetering on the precipice between triumph and despair. Yet, fueled by the flickering flame of hope and the memory of Athena's guidance, Perseus pressed onward, his heart steady and his gaze fixed upon the horizon. Along the way, he encountered allies and adversaries alike, each offering lessons that would shape his character and prepare him for the challenges that lay ahead. At last, Perseus stood upon the threshold of the Graeae's domain, a desolate landscape shrouded in mist and guarded by the whispers of ancient spirits. The air was thick with the scent of salt and sea, the echoes of his footsteps mingling with the distant cry of seabirds wheeling overhead. With determination etched upon his brow and the polished shield clasped firmly in hand, Perseus ventured forth into the unknown, guided by the flickering light of the sisters' shared eye. In the depths of their cavernous dwelling, amidst the labyrinthine passages and the ethereal glow of phosphorescent crystals, Perseus encountered the Graeae. 3 ancient sisters, their faces lined with the wisdom of countless ages, greeted him with a gaze that pierced the veil of time itself. Their voices, a chorus of whispers that echoed with the weight of prophecy, spoke of truths both ancient and immutable. The Graeae, bound by fate and tempered by the passage of time, revealed to Perseus the secrets he sought. They spoke of Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze turned men to stone, and of the perils that awaited him in the heart of her lair. They offered him guidance born of their ageless wisdom, a map etched upon the sands of time, a talisman imbued with the power to withstand the horrors that awaited him. Yet, amidst the revelations and the weight of prophecy, Perseus glimpsed a glimmer of compassion within the eyes of the Graeae. Though their forms were shrouded in mystery and their voices echoed with the echoes of eternity, he sensed in them a shared understanding of the burdens he bore and the sacrifices he would make. Their guidance, though steeped in the cryptic language of prophecy, carried with it a promise that he would not face the trials ahead alone. Armed with the knowledge bestowed upon him by the Graeae and fortified by the gifts of Athena and Hermes, Perseus emerged from their cavernous abode with renewed determination. He retraced his steps through the labyrinthine passages and the mist-shrouded landscape, each stride bringing him closer to the ultimate confrontation that awaited him. As he journeyed back towards the heart of Serifos, guided by the whispers of the wind and the steadfast beat of his own heart, Perseus reflected upon the lessons learned and the allies found along the way. The Graeae, with their ageless wisdom and their shared eye and tooth, had offered him more than just guidance. They had offered him hope in a world fraught with uncertainty and darkness. With the polished shield held aloft and the memory of Athena's guidance burning brightly within his soul, Perseus prepared himself for the final leg of his journey, a journey that would lead him into the heart of darkness itself, where the gaze of Medusa awaited him. Yet, as he stood upon the threshold of destiny, he knew that he carried with him the wisdom of the ages and the courage of a hero whose name would be whispered with reverence for generations to come. In the tapestry of Perseus' epic journey, woven with threads of divine guidance and mortal courage, there exists a pivotal moment that whispers of alliances forged and gifts bestowed by benevolent nymphs. This is the tale of Perseus obtaining the location of the nymphs and the precious gifts they offered, a chapter steeped in mystery, tinged with hope, and resonant with the heartbeat of destiny. From the outset, Perseus' quest to confront the dreaded Gorgon, Medusa, was shadowed by the weight of prophecy and the mantle of divine favor. Armed with Athena's polished shield that reflected without revealing, Hermes' winged sandals that carried him with the speed of thought, and a sword tempered by his own resolve, Perseus journeyed through lands both familiar and unknown. Each step was a testament to his growing prowess as a hero and a reminder of the perilous path ahead. As whispers of the nymphs reached Perseus' ears, beings rumored to possess gifts that could aid him in his quest, he felt a flicker of hope amidst the encroaching shadows of doubt. Stories of their beauty and benevolence danced on the lips of travelers and seafarers, tales that painted portraits of ethereal beings who held the secrets of the gods in their gentle hands. Yet, their elusive nature veiled their whereabouts in mystery, leaving Perseus to navigate the labyrinthine paths of myth and rumor in search of their sanctuary. Guided by the celestial map imprinted upon his soul and the lingering echoes of prophecy, Perseus embarked upon a quest within a quest, a pilgrimage to find the nymphs and beseech them for their aid. Through valleys blanketed in the hues of twilight and across seas whose depths mirrored the expanse of the heavens above, he ventured forth with the steadfast determination of one whose destiny lay woven with the fabric of the cosmos. In his travels, Perseus encountered allies and adversaries alike, each encounter a thread in the tapestry of his journey. From humble fishermen whose tales spoke of distant shores where nymphs frolicked in the shimmering waters, to wise sages whose wrinkled faces bore witness to the passing of ages and the mysteries that lingered just beyond mortal comprehension, he gleaned morsels of knowledge that brought him ever closer to his elusive quarry. At last, amidst the whispers of rustling leaves and the murmur of babbling brooks, Perseus stumbled upon the sanctuary of the nymphs, a verdant grove bathed in the golden light of dawn and veiled in the tranquil embrace of nature's embrace. The air hummed with the melody of unseen beings, their presence a palpable essence that stirred the soul and quickened the heart. Here, amidst the ancient trees and the dancing shadows, Perseus stood before the nymphs with reverence and awe, his gaze uplifted and his spirit humbled by their ethereal beauty. The nymphs, with their luminous eyes that mirrored the depths of the heavens and their laughter that danced upon the breeze like the notes of a forgotten melody, greeted Perseus with a warmth that transcended mortal understanding. They recognized in him a kindred spirit, a hero whose valor and determination had brought him to their doorstep in search of their blessings. With gestures as graceful as the sway of the branches above and voices as melodious as the songs of the stars, they beckoned Perseus closer and revealed to him the gifts they held in their keeping. First among them was the helm of darkness, fashioned by the hands of Hephaestus himself and infused with the essence of the cosmos. This helm, adorned with the rarest of metals and imbued with the power to render its wearer invisible to both mortal and divine gaze, would cloak Perseus in a veil of obscurity, a shield against the piercing gaze of Medusa and the perils that awaited him in her lair. Next came the shield of reflection, crafted from the finest silver mined from the depths of the earth and polished to a mirror-like sheen. This shield, gifted to Perseus by the nymph's tender hands and blessed by Athena's divine wisdom, would serve as both a barrier and a beacon, a reflection of truth amidst the shadows of deception, and a tool to behold Medusa's visage without succumbing to her deadly gaze. Lastly, the nymphs bestowed upon Perseus a satchel woven from the threads of fate itself, a satchel that would expand to hold whatever he required in his journey, be it provisions for the body or solace for the spirit. Within its depths lay the promise of resilience and the assurance of divine providence, a promise that would sustain Perseus through the trials that lay ahead and illuminate the path to his ultimate destiny. As Perseus stood amidst the nymph's sanctuary, his heart overflowing with gratitude and his spirit emboldened by their blessings, he knew that he carried with him more than just gifts of divine origin. He carried the wisdom of the ages, whispered to him upon the gentle breezes that caressed the grove, and the courage of a hero whose name would echo through the annals of myth and legend. With the helm of darkness clasped firmly upon his brow, the shield of reflection gleaming upon his arm, and the satchel of fate slung over his shoulder, Perseus departed from the sanctuary of the nymphs with renewed purpose and unwavering resolve. His journey to confront Medusa, fueled by the gifts bestowed upon him and guided by the celestial map etched upon his soul, would lead him into the heart of darkness itself, a confrontation that would test his mettle and define his legacy for all eternity. In the realm where myths intertwine with the whispers of ancient winds and the hearts of mortals beat in sync with the rhythm of legends, there lies a tale of Perseus that pulses with the essence of divine intervention and mortal courage. This is the saga of his visit to the Hesperides, where the nymphs of the golden sunset awaited him with gifts that shimmered like starlight and carried the weight of destiny upon their gentle whispers. From the moment Perseus embarked upon his quest to confront the dreaded Gorgon, Medusa, his path had been paved with challenges and imbued with the celestial guidance of Athena and Hermes. Armed with the helm of darkness that rendered him invisible to the eyes of gods and men, the shield of reflection that mirrored truth amidst the shadows, and the satchel woven from the threads of fate itself, he journeyed through lands both familiar and unknown. Each step, each encounter with allies and adversaries alike, shaped his resolve and forged his spirit into a blade tempered by the fires of determination. As rumors of the Hesperides reached Perseus' ears, nymphs whose domain lay amidst the golden hues of the western horizon and whose laughter echoed across the seas, he felt a stirring within his soul. Stories spoke of their beauty that rivaled the dawn's first light and their wisdom that surpassed the ages themselves. Whispers carried on the winds of distant shores hinted at the gifts they held in their keeping, gifts that would fortify him for the trials that lay ahead and illuminate the shadows that obscured his path to Medusa's lair. Guided by the lingering echoes of prophecy and the flickering light of hope that burned within him, Perseus set sail upon the crest of the waves. The sea, a vast expanse of azure that mirrored the canopy of stars above, carried him towards the western horizon where the Hesperides awaited with their treasures. The journey was fraught with peril and uncertainty, each wave crest a reminder of the forces that conspired to test his courage and challenge his resolve. Upon reaching the shores where the sun dipped low into the embrace of the ocean, Perseus beheld the sanctuary of the Hesperides, a paradise bathed in the hues of sunset and suffused with the tranquil melody of rustling leaves. The air was sweet with the scent of citrus and the delicate fragrance of blossoms that adorned the trees like jewels of nature's own design. Here, amidst the golden glow that painted the landscape with hues of amber and rose, Perseus stood before the nymphs with reverence and awe. The Hesperides, with their eyes that sparkled like the evening stars and their laughter that danced upon the breeze like the melody of a forgotten lullaby, welcomed Perseus into their midst. They recognized in him a hero whose courage blazed brighter than the sun itself, a champion whose quest bore the weight of prophecy and the promise of destiny fulfilled. With gestures as graceful as the sway of branches in the gentle wind and voices as melodious as the harmony of celestial spheres, they beckoned Perseus closer and unveiled the treasures they held in their celestial sanctuary. First among them was the fruit of immortality, plucked from the branches of a sacred tree that grew amidst the golden grove. This fruit, radiant with the essence of eternal life and imbued with the blessings of the gods themselves, would grant Perseus strength beyond mortal measure, a resilience that would sustain him through the trials that awaited him in the depths of Medusa's lair. Next came the wings of ascension, fashioned from feathers as soft as moonlight and as strong as the winds that swept across the heavens. These wings, gifted to Perseus by the Hesperides' tender hands and blessed by Hermes' divine touch, would lift him above the earthly realm and carry him with the grace of an eagle in flight. With each beat of their ethereal wings, they whispered tales of freedom and possibility, a promise that Perseus would soar above the challenges that sought to bind him and ascend to the heights of his destined glory. Lastly, the Hesperides bestowed upon Perseus a vial of starlight elixir, a potion brewed from the essence of the cosmos itself and infused with the radiance of 1,000 constellations. This elixir, contained within a vessel crafted from the purest crystal and sealed with the whispers of celestial guardians, would illuminate the shadows that obscured his path and reveal the truths hidden within the depths of darkness. With its ethereal glow lighting his way, Perseus would navigate the labyrinthine passages of Medusa's lair with clarity and purpose. As Perseus stood amidst the Hesperides' sanctuary, his heart brimming with gratitude and his spirit uplifted by their blessings, he knew that he carried with him more than just gifts of divine origin. He carried the hope of mortals and the faith of gods, a hero whose journey was intertwined with the threads of fate and the tapestry of myth. With the fruit of immortality cradled in his hands, the wings of ascension adorning his shoulders, and the vial of starlight elixir clasped to his breast, Perseus departed from the golden grove with renewed vigor and unwavering determination. His journey to confront Medusa, fueled by the treasures bestowed upon him and guided by the celestial map etched upon his soul, would lead him into the heart of darkness itself. There, amidst the labyrinthine passages and the petrified remains of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon, Perseus would face his ultimate test, a test of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of hope that burned within him like a beacon amidst the shadows. In the vast pantheon of Greek mythology, where gods and mortals intertwine in a tapestry of fate and destiny, there exists a moment of divine grace that defines the journey of Perseus, the acquisition of Athena's reflective bronze shield. This pivotal moment resonates with the essence of courage, the guidance of the divine, and the forging of a hero whose name would echo through the ages. From the outset, Perseus' path was laid with the weight of prophecy and the mantle of divine favor. Born of noble lineage yet burdened by the shadow of destiny, he embarked upon a quest that would test not only his mettle but also his resolve to defy the gods' will. Armed with the helm of darkness, gifted by the nymphs of the western horizon, and the sword of courage, forged by mortal hands yet blessed by celestial guidance, Perseus journeyed through lands both familiar and unknown. Each step echoed with the whispers of his purpose and the faint echo of Athena's wisdom, guiding him towards his ultimate confrontation with the monstrous Gorgon, Medusa. As rumors of Athena's reflective shield reached Perseus' ears, crafted by the goddess herself and imbued with the power to withstand the petrifying gaze of Medusa, he felt a stirring within his soul. The shield, a masterpiece of divine craftsmanship, promised not just protection but also a means to confront the monstrous reflection of his fears. Stories spoke of its brilliance, polished to a mirror-like sheen that reflected truth amidst the shadows and offered a glimpse into the heart of one's destiny. Guided by the whispers of prophecy and the flickering light of hope that burned within him, Perseus sought audience with Athena amidst the marble halls of her sacred temple. The air was thick with the scent of incense and the faint murmur of prayers offered by devotees, their voices a testament to the reverence in which they held the goddess of wisdom and war. Here, amidst the pillars that rose like sentinels to the heavens above, Perseus stood before Athena with reverence and awe, his gaze uplifted and his spirit humbled by her presence. Athena, with eyes as piercing as the keenest blade and a countenance that bore the weight of millennia, regarded Perseus with a mixture of curiosity and approval. She recognized in him a hero whose courage burned brighter than the sun itself, a champion whose quest bore the weight of prophecy and the promise of destiny fulfilled. With a gesture as graceful as the flight of a hunting hawk and a voice that echoed with the clarity of a mountain spring, she beckoned Perseus closer and unveiled the shield she had crafted for him. The reflective bronze shield gleamed in the flickering light of the temple's sacred fires, its surface polished to a brilliance that rivaled the stars themselves. As Perseus beheld his own reflection mirrored upon its surface, he saw not just the image of a mortal warrior, but a hero whose resolve mirrored the steadfastness of the gods. The shield, forged from the essence of divine wisdom and tempered by Athena's own hands, bore the power to reflect truth amidst deception and to shield its bearer from the gaze of Medusa's deadly eyes. With reverence and gratitude etched upon his brow, Perseus accepted Athena's gift, the reflective bronze shield that would serve as both his protector and his guide. Its surface, a mirror that mirrored the depths of his soul and the flickering light of hope that burned within him, would accompany him on his journey into the heart of darkness itself. There, amidst the labyrinthine passages and the petrified remains of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon, Perseus would face his ultimate test, a test of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of hope that burned within him like a beacon amidst the shadows. Armed with Athena's reflective bronze shield held aloft and the memories of divine guidance burning brightly within his soul, Perseus departed from the temple with renewed vigor and unwavering determination. His journey to confront Medusa, fueled by the gifts bestowed upon him and guided by the celestial map etched upon his soul, would lead him into the heart of darkness itself. There, amidst the labyrinthine passages and the petrified remains of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon, Perseus would face his ultimate test, a test of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of hope that burned within him like a beacon amidst the shadows. In the realm where shadows dance with the echoes of ancient tales and heroes' footsteps echo through the corridors of time, there lies a moment of profound courage and destiny, the arrival of Perseus at Medusa's desolate cave. This is a chapter steeped in the essence of mortal bravery and divine guidance, where the very air shivers with anticipation and the heart of the hero beats in rhythm with the pulse of myth. From the inception of his quest, Perseus had been guided by the whispers of prophecy and the divine gifts bestowed upon him by Athena, Hermes, and the nymphs of the Hesperides. Armed with the helm of darkness that cloaked him in invisibility, the reflective bronze shield that mirrored truth amidst deception, and the adamantine sword that gleamed with the promise of justice, Perseus ventured forth with unwavering determination. Each step carried him closer to the heart of darkness, where the dreaded Gorgon, Medusa, awaited, a creature whose gaze turned mortal flesh to stone and whose presence cast a pall of fear across the land. As Perseus approached the cavern that housed Medusa's lair, the very earth seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. The air, thick with the scent of damp stone and the faint echo of distant whispers, hummed with an otherworldly energy that prickled the skin and quickened the pulse. Shadows danced upon the rocky walls like specters of forgotten dreams, their forms shifting and coalescing into shapes that mirrored the fears that gripped Perseus' heart. With each cautious step into the cavern's yawning maw, Perseus felt the weight of his quest pressing upon his shoulders like the burden of Atlas himself. The darkness within was palpable, a living entity that whispered secrets of ancient horrors and whispered warnings of the fate that awaited those who dared to challenge the monstrous Medusa. Yet, fueled by the divine courage that burned within him and the memories of those who had fallen to her deadly gaze, Perseus pressed onward into the unknown depths. As he descended further into the labyrinthine passages of the cavern, the air grew colder and the silence more profound. The faint echo of dripping water and the occasional skittering of unseen creatures echoed through the shadows, a haunting melody that underscored the gravity of his mission. Each twist and turn of the cavern's labyrinth brought Perseus closer to his fateful encounter, where destiny and courage would collide in a battle that would echo through eternity. Finally, amidst the labyrinthine passages and the stalactites that dripped with the tears of ages, Perseus beheld the heart of darkness itself, Medusa's lair. The cavern stretched before him like the gaping maw of a great beast, its walls lined with the petrified remains of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon and failed. Statues stood frozen in eternal agony, their faces contorted in expressions of terror and despair, a chilling testament to the power that awaited Perseus within. At the heart of the cavern, bathed in the dim glow of phosphorescent fungi and the eerie light that filtered through cracks in the ceiling, Perseus beheld Medusa herself. The Gorgon, with serpents writhing upon her head like a crown of living nightmares, stood sentinel over her domain with an air of malevolent grace. Her eyes, twin orbs of emerald fire that burned with a hunger born of centuries of solitude and bitterness, fixed upon Perseus with a gaze that froze the very marrow in his bones. Yet, despite the dread that coiled within his gut and the chill that raced down his spine, Perseus stood firm. The reflective bronze shield held aloft before him, its surface shimmering with the faint glow of divine craftsmanship, offered him a glimpse into the heart of his adversary, a reflection that mirrored the truth of his own courage and the unyielding resolve that burned within him like a beacon amidst the darkness. With a steadying breath and the memories of those who had guided him echoing in his mind like a chorus of encouragement, Perseus raised his sword high. The adamantine blade gleamed in the dim light, a testament to the justice that fueled his quest and the determination that drove him ever forward. In that moment, amidst the shadows that danced upon the walls and the silence that hung heavy in the air, Perseus prepared to confront his destiny head-on. The battle that ensued was a symphony of steel and serpents, a dance of shadows and courage that played out amidst the labyrinthine passages of Medusa's lair. With each strike of his sword and each movement of his shield, Perseus wove a tapestry of bravery and defiance, a hero whose name would echo through the annals of myth and legend. The Gorgon, with her deadly gaze and her serpentine fury, sought to turn him to stone with every glance, yet Perseus danced beyond her reach with the grace of a warrior born of mortal flesh and divine inspiration. Through the ebb and flow of battle, Perseus remained steadfast. His heart, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, burned with the fervor of justice and the promise of triumph. With each strike of his sword and each twist of his shield, he drew closer to victory, a victory not just for himself, but for all who had dared to dream of defying the gods' will and shaping their own destiny. In the final moments of their confrontation, Perseus saw his opening, a fleeting glimpse of vulnerability amidst the Gorgon's serpentine fury. With a cry that echoed through the cavern like a clarion call, he struck true. The adamantine blade, fueled by the courage that burned within him and guided by the divine wisdom that had shaped his journey, found its mark. Medusa, with a scream that echoed through the ages, crumpled to the cavern floor. Her serpents writhed and hissed in anguish, their emerald eyes fading into lifeless darkness. The curse that had haunted the land for centuries was broken, its tendrils unraveling like threads of mist beneath the morning sun. In the annals of ancient myth and legend, amidst the tapestry of gods and heroes, there exists a tale of terror and desolation, the lair of Medusa, the dreaded Gorgon whose gaze turned mortal flesh to stone. This is not just a place of darkness and dread, but a realm where the echoes of suffering and the remnants of bravery intertwine in a chilling symphony that resonates through the corridors of time. Imagine, if you will, a cavern that lies hidden within the heart of a forgotten mountain range, a place where the very earth seems to shiver with unease and the air is thick with the scent of damp stone and ancient decay. The entrance to Medusa's lair, framed by jagged stalactites that drip with the tears of ages, yawns open like the maw of some monstrous beast hungry for the souls of the unwary. As Perseus approached this foreboding threshold, he felt a chill race down his spine, a primal instinct that warned of the malevolent presence that awaited within. The shadows that danced upon the walls seemed to twist and contort, taking on shapes that mirrored the fears that gripped his heart. The faint echo of dripping water and the occasional skittering of unseen creatures added to the eerie ambience, creating a haunting melody that underscored the gravity of his mission. Stepping cautiously into the labyrinthine passages that wound deeper into the heart of the mountain, Perseus found himself surrounded by a silence so profound it seemed almost tangible. The walls, slick with moisture and lined with the petrified remains of those who had dared to venture before him, bore witness to the horrors that lurked within. Statues stood frozen in eternal agony, their faces twisted in expressions of terror and despair, a chilling testament to the power of Medusa's deadly gaze. As he ventured further into the depths, the air grew colder and the darkness more oppressive. Phosphorescent fungi cast a dim glow upon the rocky walls, their sickly light revealing glimpses of the macabre tableau that surrounded him. Here and there, the remnants of fallen heroes lay scattered amidst the labyrinth, a silent testament to the fate that awaited those who dared to challenge the Gorgon's dominion. At the heart of the cavern, where the darkness seemed to thicken like a suffocating shroud, Perseus beheld Medusa herself. The Gorgon, with serpents writhing upon her head like a crown of living nightmares, stood sentinel over her domain with an air of malevolent grace. Her eyes, twin orbs of emerald fire that burned with a hunger born of centuries of solitude and bitterness, fixed upon Perseus with a gaze that froze the very marrow in his bones. Medusa's lair, a place where the boundaries between myth and reality blur and the veil between life and death grows thin, exuded an aura of primal dread and ancient power. The cavern walls, slick with moisture and adorned with the remnants of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon, bore witness to the horrors that lurked within. Statues stood frozen in eternal agony, their faces twisted in expressions of terror and despair, a chilling testament to the power of Medusa's deadly gaze. In the dim light that filtered through cracks in the ceiling, Perseus beheld the heart of darkness itself, Medusa's lair. The cavern stretched before him like the gaping maw of a great beast, its walls lined with the petrified remains of those who had dared to challenge the Gorgon and failed. Statues stood frozen in eternal agony, their faces contorted in expressions of terror and despair, a chilling testament to the power that awaited Perseus within. At the heart of the cavern, bathed in the dim glow of phosphorescent fungi and the eerie light that filtered through cracks in the ceiling, Perseus beheld Medusa herself. The Gorgon, with serpents writhing upon her head like a crown of living nightmares, stood sentinel over her domain with an air of malevolent grace. Her eyes, twin orbs of emerald fire that burned with a hunger born of centuries of solitude and bitterness, fixed upon Perseus with a gaze that froze the very marrow in his bones. Yet, despite the dread that coiled within his gut and the chill that raced down his spine, Perseus stood firm. The reflective bronze shield held aloft before him, its surface shimmering with the faint glow of divine craftsmanship, offered him a glimpse into the heart of his adversary, a reflection that mirrored the truth of his own courage and the unyielding resolve that burned within him like a beacon amidst the darkness. With a steadying breath and the memories of those who had guided him echoing in his mind like a chorus of encouragement, Perseus raised his sword high. The adamantine blade gleamed in the dim light, a testament to the justice that fueled his quest and the determination that drove him ever forward. In that moment, amidst the shadows that danced upon the walls and the silence that hung heavy in the air, Perseus prepared to confront his destiny head-on. The battle that ensued was a symphony of steel and serpents, a dance of shadows and courage that played out amidst the labyrinthine passages of Medusa's lair. With each strike of his sword and each movement of his shield, Perseus wove a tapestry of bravery and defiance, a hero whose name would echo through the annals of myth and legend. The Gorgon, with her deadly gaze and her serpentine fury, sought to turn him to stone with every glance, yet Perseus danced beyond her reach with the grace of a warrior born of mortal flesh and divine inspiration. Through the ebb and flow of battle, Perseus remained steadfast. His heart, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, burned with the fervor of justice and the promise of triumph. With each strike of his sword and each twist of his shield, he drew closer to victory, a victory not just for himself, but for all who had dared to dream of defying the gods' will and shaping their own destiny. In the final moments of their confrontation, Perseus saw his opening, a fleeting glimpse of vulnerability amidst the Gorgon's serpentine fury. With a cry that echoed through the cavern like a clarion call, he struck true. The adamantine blade, fueled by the courage that burned within him and guided by the divine wisdom that had shaped his journey, found its mark. Medusa, with a scream that echoed through the ages, crumpled to the cavern floor. Her serpents writhed and hissed in anguish, their emerald eyes fading into lifeless darkness. The curse that had haunted the land for centuries was broken, its tendrils unraveling like threads of mist beneath the morning sun. In the realm where myths intertwine with the courage of mortal hearts, there lies a moment of ingenious strategy and divine guidance, the use of Perseus' reflective shield against the dreaded Gorgon, Medusa. This pivotal chapter is not just a testament to cunning and bravery, but also a testament to the power of resilience in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. From the outset of his quest, Perseus had been entrusted with the tools of divine craftsmanship, a helm of darkness to grant him invisibility, an adamantine sword to cleave through the shadows, and Athena's reflective bronze shield, a masterpiece of celestial artistry that would mirror the truth amidst the deception of Medusa's deadly gaze. Armed with these gifts and fueled by the courage that burned within him like an unquenchable flame, Perseus ventured into the heart of darkness itself, the labyrinthine caverns that housed the dreaded Gorgon. As he stood before the monstrous Medusa, her serpentine mane writhing with malevolent intent and her eyes burning with a hunger born of centuries of solitude, Perseus knew that he faced a foe unlike any other. The air in the cavern was thick with tension, every breath tinged with the chill of impending doom. Shadows danced upon the walls like specters of forgotten nightmares, whispering secrets of ancient horrors and warning of the fate that awaited those who dared to challenge the Gorgon's dominion. Yet, armed with Athena's shield held steadfast before him, Perseus summoned forth a strategy born of both divine inspiration and mortal ingenuity. The reflective surface of the shield shimmered in the dim light, a mirror that offered a glimpse into the heart of his adversary, a reflection that mirrored the truth of his own courage and the unwavering determination that burned within him like a beacon amidst the darkness. With a steady hand and a heart that beat in rhythm with the pulse of myth and legend, Perseus faced Medusa head-on. As her deadly gaze sought to ensnare him in its petrifying embrace, he raised the shield high, positioning it between himself and the monstrous visage that threatened to turn him to stone. The serpentine eyes of Medusa, filled with malice and ancient fury, met their own reflection upon the polished bronze surface, a fleeting moment of confusion and vulnerability amidst the chaos of battle. In that heartbeat of hesitation, Perseus struck, a swift and decisive blow fueled by the courage that burned within him and guided by the divine wisdom that had shaped his journey. The adamantine blade, forged by mortal hands yet blessed by celestial guidance, found its mark true. With a cry that echoed through the cavern like a clarion call, Perseus severed the serpentine head from Medusa's shoulders, casting it aside with a force born of both triumph and relief. The battle that ensued was a dance of shadows and steel, a symphony of courage and cunning that played out amidst the labyrinthine passages of Medusa's lair. With each strike of his sword and each twist of his shield, Perseus wove a tapestry of bravery and defiance, a hero whose name would echo through the annals of myth and legend. The Gorgon, with her deadly gaze and her serpentine fury, sought to ensnare him in her grasp, yet Perseus danced beyond her reach with the grace of a warrior born of mortal flesh and divine inspiration. Through the ebb and flow of battle, Perseus remained steadfast. His heart, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, burned with the fervor of justice and the promise of triumph. With each strike of his sword and each movement of his shield, he drew closer to victory, a victory not just for himself, but for all who had dared to dream of defying the gods' will and shaping their own destiny. In the final moments of their confrontation, Perseus saw his opening, a fleeting glimpse of vulnerability amidst the Gorgon's serpentine fury. With a cry that echoed through the cavern like a clarion call, he struck true. The adamantine blade, fueled by the courage that burned within him and guided by the divine wisdom that had shaped his journey, found its mark. Medusa, with a scream that echoed through the ages, crumpled to the cavern floor. Her serpents writhed and hissed in anguish, their emerald eyes fading into lifeless darkness. The curse that had haunted the land for centuries was broken, its tendrils unraveling like threads of mist beneath the morning sun. In the chronicles of ancient mythology, amidst the clash of gods and heroes, there exists a moment of divine reckoning, the beheading of Medusa and the miraculous birth of Pegasus and Chrysaor. This is not merely a tale of conquest, but a saga of profound transformation and the birth of legends that would soar through the annals of time. Imagine, if you will, the aftermath of Perseus' harrowing battle with the dreaded Gorgon, Medusa. The cavern, once shrouded in darkness and echoes of despair, now lay silent in the wake of the hero's triumph. Perseus, his heart still pounding with the adrenaline of victory, stood amidst the petrified remnants of fallen heroes and the severed head of the once terrifying Medusa. The air was thick with a mix of trepidation and awe, a testament to the magnitude of what had transpired within those hallowed confines. As Perseus gazed upon the lifeless visage of Medusa, her serpentine mane now still and her deadly gaze forever extinguished, he felt a surge of conflicting emotions, relief, triumph, and a hint of melancholy for the fate that had befallen the once beautiful maiden cursed by the gods. The weight of his quest, undertaken with divine purpose and mortal courage, settled upon his shoulders like a mantle of responsibility. Yet, amidst the solemnity of the moment, there was a stirring, a miraculous unfolding of destiny that would forever alter the course of mythological history. From the blood-soaked earth where Medusa's severed head lay, two beings emerged, Pegasus, the majestic winged horse, and Chrysaor, the mighty warrior clad in golden armor. They emerged as if from a dream, their forms radiant with the essence of divine creation and the promise of new beginnings. Pegasus, with wings unfurled and eyes gleaming with an otherworldly wisdom, soared into the heavens with an effortless grace that defied mortal understanding. His mane, a cascade of shimmering silver that caught the light of dawn, fluttered like a banner of freedom against the azure sky. With each beat of his powerful wings, Pegasus ascended higher and higher, bridging the gap between earth and sky with a boundless spirit that spoke of untamed wilderness and boundless horizons. Beside him, Chrysaor stood resolute, a figure of strength and valor forged in the crucible of divine intervention. His golden armor gleamed with an ethereal luster, a testament to the purity of his lineage and the legacy of his birth. In his hand, he bore a sword that shimmered with the same celestial light that had guided Perseus in his quest, a symbol of justice tempered with mercy, wielded with the courage of one destined to carve his own path through the annals of myth. As Perseus beheld the miraculous birth of Pegasus and Chrysaor, he felt a surge of humility and wonder. The prophecy that had guided his journey, the trials that had tested his resolve, and the sacrifices made along the way, all had culminated in this moment of divine revelation. The birth of these extraordinary beings, born from the blood of Medusa and the intervention of the gods, underscored the interconnectedness of mortal fate and divine will, a tapestry woven with threads of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of myth. In the aftermath of the battle, as the sun cast its golden rays upon the scene of transformation, Perseus knew that his quest was far from over. The legacy of Medusa's demise, the birth of Pegasus and Chrysaor, and the echoes of his own journey would ripple through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of bravery in the face of adversity and the timeless allure of mythical storytelling. Thus, amidst the echoes of fallen heroes and the birth cries of legendary creatures, Perseus stood as a bridge between the mortal realm and the divine. His tale, etched upon the tablets of myth and whispered upon the lips of storytellers, would forever inspire those who dared to dream beyond the boundaries of the possible and embrace the transformative power of courage, compassion, and the boundless expanse of the human spirit. In the wake of triumph and transformation, Perseus embarked on his return journey, a path fraught with challenges that tested not only his resolve but the very essence of his heroic spirit. This chapter in the saga of Perseus is not merely a footnote to his conquest of Medusa, but a poignant testament to the trials faced by those who dare to challenge the whims of gods and the capriciousness of fate. As Perseus set sail from the cavernous depths that had housed the lair of Medusa, he carried with him the weight of his newfound companions, Pegasus, the winged steed whose grace belied his divine origins, and Chrysaor, the warrior whose golden armor shimmered as a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty that lay ahead. The journey homeward, bathed in the afterglow of triumph and tinged with the melancholy of parting, unfolded like a tapestry woven with threads of both joy and sorrow. Yet, the gods, ever fickle in their favor, had not yet finished testing the mettle of their mortal champion. As Perseus and his companions traversed the tumultuous seas, a tempest of unprecedented fury descended upon them, a maelstrom of wind and wave that threatened to engulf their fragile vessel. The sky, once serene and azure, darkened with ominous clouds that roiled with the wrath of Poseidon, god of the sea. Perseus, his hand steady upon the helm and his heart a beacon of steadfast determination, fought against the raging tempest with the resilience of one whose spirit had been forged amidst the crucible of adversity. With each wave that crashed against the hull and each gust of wind that threatened to tear the sails asunder, he clung to the memory of his triumph over Medusa, a reminder of the strength that lay within him and the unwavering courage that had guided him through the darkest of trials. Yet, the trials did not end with the tempestuous seas. As Perseus and his companions sought refuge upon the shores of a distant island, they were confronted with a new challenge, a monstrous creature of unparalleled ferocity, unleashed by vengeful gods intent on testing the hero's resolve. The creature, with scales that gleamed like burnished steel and teeth that glistened with the venom of ancient malice, loomed over them with a hunger that echoed through the ages. Undaunted, Perseus stood before the creature with sword in hand and shield held high, his gaze unwavering and his spirit unyielding. With each strike of his blade and each parry of the creature's deadly claws, he fought with the prowess of a warrior born of both mortal flesh and divine inspiration. Pegasus, with wings outstretched and eyes blazing with a primal fire, soared above the fray, his hooves striking true against the creature's armored hide with a force that reverberated through the earth itself. In the aftermath of battle, as the creature lay vanquished upon the blood-soaked sands and the sky cleared to reveal the gentle embrace of dawn, Perseus and his companions pressed onward. Their journey homeward, though fraught with peril and uncertainty, bore witness to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of camaraderie forged in the crucible of shared adversity. Yet, as they neared the shores of Serifos, the island that had once been Perseus' home, the hero's heart grew heavy with the weight of his impending reunion. King Polydectes, the tyrant who had once sought to ensnare Perseus in a web of treachery and deceit, awaited his return with a hunger for vengeance that mirrored the ferocity of the creatures they had faced upon their journey. With Pegasus soaring overhead and Chrysaor standing steadfast at his side, Perseus faced King Polydectes with a resolve that burned brighter than the fires of Olympus itself. The tyrant, though cloaked in the trappings of earthly power, quailed beneath the unwavering gaze of the hero whose courage had shattered the shackles of fear and forged a path through the darkest of shadows. In the end, as Perseus stood amidst the ruins of treachery and the echoes of his journey reverberated through the halls of myth and legend, he knew that his quest was far from over. The challenges he had faced, the tempestuous seas, the monstrous creature, and the tyrant's thirst for vengeance, had tested his resolve and tempered his spirit like the hammer upon the anvil. Yet, amidst the trials and tribulations that had defined his journey, Perseus emerged not merely as a hero of myth and legend, but as a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who dared to dream beyond the confines of mortal expectation. His tale, etched upon the tablets of time and whispered upon the lips of storytellers, would forever inspire those who dared to challenge the whims of gods and the capriciousness of fate, to embrace the transformative power of courage, compassion, and the boundless expanse of the human spirit. In the tapestry of Perseus' heroic journey, woven with threads of courage and fate, one thread shines brightly, a tale of love, peril, and a daring rescue that defied the whims of gods and the depths of the sea. This is the story of Andromeda and Perseus' valiant quest to save her from the jaws of a monstrous fate, a tale that resonates with the timeless allure of love conquering all. Imagine, if you will, a kingdom nestled upon the cliffs overlooking the azure expanse of the sea. In this realm of ancient wonders and whispered legends, the city of Joppa stood as a beacon of prosperity and culture. Yet, amidst the splendor of its marble halls and bustling markets, a shadow loomed, a shadow cast by the looming threat of divine wrath and the capriciousness of fate. Andromeda, the kingdom's beloved princess, was the unwitting pawn in a cruel game of retribution orchestrated by the gods themselves. Queen Cassiopeia, in her vanity and hubris, had boasted of her daughter's unparalleled beauty, a boast that drew the ire of Poseidon, god of the sea. In his wrath, Poseidon unleashed a monstrous sea serpent upon the kingdom, a creature whose hunger for mortal flesh threatened to consume all in its path. Desperate and fearing the inevitable doom that loomed upon their shores, King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia sought counsel from the oracle. The prophecy delivered was grim and unyielding. The only salvation lay in sacrificing Andromeda to the monstrous serpent, a blood price to appease the god's wrath and spare the kingdom from annihilation. It was amidst this backdrop of despair and impending doom that Perseus, fresh from his triumph over Medusa and the trials of his return journey, arrived upon the shores of Joppa. Drawn by fate and guided by the whispers of celestial intervention, he beheld Andromeda, a vision of ethereal beauty and quiet resolve, bound to the rocky cliffs as an offering to appease the gods' insatiable hunger. Upon seeing her plight, Perseus' heart stirred with a torrent of emotions, a mix of compassion, determination, and a burgeoning love that defied the boundaries of mortal understanding. With Pegasus soaring above and Chrysaor standing steadfast at his side, he vowed to defy the gods' decree and rescue Andromeda from the fate that awaited her. The battle that ensued was a clash of titans, a dance of shadows and steel that reverberated through the very heart of the kingdom. The sea serpent, with scales that gleamed like molten bronze and eyes that burned with primal hunger, lashed out with a fury born of ancient malice. Yet, Perseus fought with the ferocity of a hero whose courage had been tempered by the fires of divine intervention and mortal determination. With each strike of his adamantine sword and each maneuver of his reflective shield, Perseus danced upon the razor's edge between life and death. Pegasus, with wings beating in harmony with the rhythm of battle, descended upon the serpent like a thunderbolt from the heavens, his hoofs striking true against the creature's armored hide with a force that echoed through the cliffs and valleys. In the midst of chaos and peril, Perseus seized upon a moment of divine inspiration. With a swift and decisive blow, he struck the sea serpent's vulnerable heart, a final, desperate bid to free Andromeda from the clutches of impending doom. The serpent, with a mournful cry that echoed across the waves, crumpled to the rocky shores, its ancient fury quelled by the hero's unwavering resolve. As Andromeda embraced Perseus amidst the wreckage of battle, their hearts beat as one, a testament to the power of love and the triumph of courage over adversity. The kingdom of Joppa, bathed in the golden light of dawn and the promise of a new beginning, rejoiced in the heroism of Perseus and the salvation of their beloved princess. Yet, amidst the celebration and the echoes of their victory, Perseus knew that his journey was far from over. The gods, ever fickle in their favor, watched from their celestial thrones with a mix of awe and trepidation. His tale, etched upon the tablets of myth and whispered upon the lips of storytellers, would forever inspire those who dared to challenge the whims of fate and embrace the transformative power of love, courage, and the boundless expanse of the human spirit. In the grand tapestry of myths and legends, there exists a thread woven with the subtle intricacy of fate, a thread that binds mortals to the whims of gods and the prophecies that shape their destinies. This is the tale of Perseus and the accidental fulfillment of a prophecy that would forever alter the course of his journey, leaving an indelible mark upon the annals of mythology. Imagine, if you will, a hero forged in the crucible of divine intervention and mortal courage, his brow crowned with the laurels of triumph and his heart burdened by the weight of unforeseen consequences. Perseus, fresh from his valiant rescue of Andromeda and the vanquishing of the monstrous sea serpent, returned triumphant to the kingdom of Serifos, the island that had once been both his sanctuary and his crucible. As Perseus set foot upon the shores of his homeland, the air was thick with a mix of jubilation and trepidation. The people hailed him as a hero, a champion whose valor had saved their beloved princess and spared their kingdom from the wrath of Poseidon's vengeance. Yet, amidst the celebrations and accolades that greeted his return, a shadow loomed, a shadow cast by the specter of a prophecy foretold long before his birth. King Polydectes, the tyrant whose treachery had once threatened to ensnare Perseus in a web of deceit, watched with simmering resentment as the hero basked in the adulation of the masses. His heart, consumed by envy and ambition, devised a plan born of cunning and malice, a plan that would exploit the unwitting hero's journey and set into motion the gears of a prophecy that had lain dormant for years. It was said that King Polydectes harbored a desire for Perseus' mother, Danae, a desire that had simmered in the depths of his heart like a shadow cast by the moon upon still waters. Yet, bound by fear of the hero's wrath and the uncertainty of divine retribution, he concealed his intentions beneath a veneer of false camaraderie and feigned benevolence. In a calculated gambit designed to rid himself of Perseus once and for all, King Polydectes devised a plan that would lure the hero into unwittingly fulfilling the ancient prophecy that had haunted the kingdom for generations. He feigned a desire for a grand gesture, a gesture that would cement his rule and solidify his hold upon the throne of Serifos. With honeyed words and false promises, King Polydectes beseeched Perseus to present him with a gift worthy of a king, a gift that would signify his allegiance and pay homage to the hero's newfound stature. Unbeknownst to Perseus, the king's request was but a ruse, a trap set amidst the trappings of courtly splendor and the echoes of a prophecy that loomed like a specter upon the horizon. Perseus, ever the dutiful son and unwitting pawn in a game of divine machinations, sought counsel from his companions, Pegasus, the winged steed whose loyalty matched his courage, and Chrysaor, the warrior whose presence offered solace amidst the uncertainty that clouded his heart. Together, they embarked upon a quest to fulfill the king's demand, a quest that would unwittingly set into motion the gears of fate and unleash consequences beyond their control. Upon the counsel of his divine companions, Perseus ventured forth into the depths of the Gorgon's lair, a place where shadows danced upon the walls and the echoes of ancient malice reverberated through the cavernous halls. There, amidst the petrified remnants of fallen heroes and the haunting gaze of Medusa's severed head, he sought a gift worthy of a king, a gift that would unwittingly fulfill the prophecy that had haunted the kingdom for generations. With each step he took and each beat of his heart, Perseus felt the weight of destiny upon his shoulders, a burden born of divine intervention and mortal folly. The reflective shield, bestowed upon him by Athena herself, shimmered with an ethereal light, a light that spoke of both salvation and impending doom. As he presented the gift to King Polydectes amidst the courtly splendor that masked the treachery that lay beneath, Perseus felt a chill run down his spine. A chill born of intuition and the unsettling realization that he had unwittingly set into motion the gears of a prophecy that had shaped his destiny from the moment of his birth. The king, his eyes gleaming with a mix of triumph and malice, beheld the gift with a hunger that mirrored the serpent's ancient wrath. With a single glance upon the reflective surface of Athena's shield, he bore witness to the fate that had been foretold. A fate that would forever bind Perseus to the echoes of his journey and the consequences of his unwitting actions. In that moment, as the courtly revelry gave way to the stark reality of prophecy fulfilled, Perseus stood amidst the ruins of his innocence and the echoes of his journey. A hero whose valor had unwittingly set into motion the gears of fate and unleashed consequences beyond his control. Yet, amidst the uncertainty and the shadows that danced upon the walls, Perseus knew that his journey was far from over. The gods, ever fickle in their favor, watched from their celestial thrones with a mix of awe and trepidation. His tale, etched upon the tablets of myth and whispered upon the lips of storytellers, would forever inspire those who dared to challenge the whims of fate and embrace the transformative power of courage, compassion, and the boundless expanse of the human spirit. In the labyrinthine tapestry of ancient myths, few tales resonate as profoundly as the saga of Perseus and the legacy he unwittingly left behind, the severed head of the Gorgon Medusa, a weapon both fearsome and tragic in its power. This is a story that intertwines heroism with unforeseen consequences, wielding the essence of one's triumphs and burdens as a cautionary tale woven through the annals of time. Imagine, if you will, a hero whose journey through peril and destiny had led him to the very heart of darkness itself, the lair of Medusa, where the gaze of her petrifying eyes held the power to turn life into stone. Perseus, armed with divine artifacts and guided by the whispers of celestial beings, faced the monstrous Gorgon in a battle that tested not only his skill in arms, but also his resolve in the face of unimaginable peril. The reflective shield gifted by Athena shimmered with an otherworldly light, offering Perseus a fleeting advantage against his foe. With a swift and decisive strike, he severed Medusa's head from her serpentine neck, a moment frozen in time, where the hero's valor clashed with the tragic fate of the creature whose visage had borne the burden of divine punishment. Yet, it was not the battle itself that etched Perseus' name into the annals of legend, but rather the legacy that emerged from the aftermath, a legacy fraught with both awe and dread, as the severed head of Medusa became both a weapon of unparalleled power and a harbinger of unforeseen consequences. The tale of Perseus and Medusa's head spread like wildfire across the realms of gods and mortals alike. Tales were spun of its ability to petrify any who gazed upon its ghastly visage, a weapon of divine retribution wielded by a mortal hero whose deeds had forever altered the fabric of myth. In the aftermath of his conquest, Perseus bore the weight of Medusa's head as both a boon and a curse. Its very presence was a reminder of the hero's prowess and the price paid for his valor, a price that transcended mortal understanding and delved into the realms of cosmic balance and divine justice. The head of Medusa became a symbol of fear and reverence, a relic that whispered of the fragility of mortal existence and the capricious nature of fate. Its gaze, once capable of turning flesh to stone, now served as a grim reminder of the heroism and sacrifice that defined Perseus' journey. Legend spoke of Perseus wielding the head against foes and challenges that dared to threaten the sanctity of his homeland and loved ones. With each use, the hero grappled with the ethical implications of his power, a power that could reshape landscapes and lives with a mere glance. Yet, amidst the tales of triumph and tragedy, there existed a deeper, more poignant narrative, a narrative that spoke of the burden carried by Perseus as he navigated the complexities of wielding such formidable power. The head of Medusa was not merely a weapon but a testament to the hero's resilience and the lengths to which he would go to protect those he held dear. As Perseus traversed the realms of myth and mortality, his legacy became intertwined with the moral dilemmas posed by the head of Medusa. Would its power be used for righteous justice or wielded as a tool of vengeance? Could its gaze be tempered by compassion, or would it forever remain a harbinger of doom? Through the ages, storytellers and bards alike recounted Perseus' tale with a mix of reverence and caution, a cautionary tale of hubris and heroism, where the boundaries between good and evil blurred in the shadow of divine artifacts. The legacy of Perseus and Medusa's head serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities inherent in wielding power, whether mortal or divine. It speaks to the enduring themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness that resonate through the corridors of myth and legend. In the end, Perseus' legacy endures not only in the deeds of his heroism but also in the profound questions raised by the legacy he left behind. The head of Medusa, with its power to both awe and terrify, stands as a testament to the enduring allure of ancient myths and the timeless lessons they impart upon those who dare to gaze into their depths. In the vast tapestry of ancient myths, there exists a story so rich in symbolism and meaning that it transcends the boundaries of time and culture. A story that has captured the imaginations of countless generations and continues to resonate with profound emotional depth. This is the myth of Perseus and Medusa, a tale of heroism, tragedy, and the intricate interplay between mortal courage and divine intervention. At its heart lies the story of Perseus, the valiant hero whose journey from humble beginnings to legendary status is marked by encounters with gods, monsters, and the immutable force of fate itself. Central to his saga is his fateful encounter with Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze turned mortals to stone, a creature both fearsome and pitiable, cursed by the gods for a crime not her own. From its ancient origins, the myth of Perseus and Medusa has inspired a myriad of interpretations, each offering unique insights into the human condition and the eternal struggle between light and darkness, beauty and horror. Some interpretations cast Perseus as a symbol of mortal valor, a hero whose triumph over the monstrous Medusa represents the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. His quest to slay the Gorgon is seen as a metaphor for overcoming personal fears and external challenges, resonating deeply with individuals seeking courage and resilience in their own lives. Yet, beneath the surface of Perseus' heroism lies a complex moral landscape, one that invites contemplation on the nature of justice and mercy. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden cursed by Athena for desecrating her temple, becomes a tragic figure in her own right, a victim of divine punishment whose monstrous form belies her humanity. Her fate raises poignant questions about the nature of divine justice and the consequences of mortal actions. The symbolism of Medusa's petrifying gaze speaks to deeper psychological truths as well. It reflects the fears and vulnerabilities that lie dormant within each of us, the potential for our own gaze to harm or destroy, whether through words, actions, or neglect. In this sense, Medusa serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to confront our inner demons and embrace the power of empathy and understanding. Moreover, interpretations of the myth often explore themes of transformation and redemption. Perseus' journey to slay Medusa is not merely a physical quest, but a spiritual odyssey, a quest for self-discovery and enlightenment. His acquisition of divine artifacts and guidance from Athena and Hermes symbolizes the transformative power of wisdom and divine favor, guiding him through the labyrinthine challenges of his quest. The aftermath of Perseus' victory introduces another layer of interpretation, the utilization of Medusa's severed head as a weapon of both destruction and protection. Its power to petrify enemies becomes a metaphor for the consequences of wielding unchecked power, a reminder that the tools we employ, no matter how powerful, carry ethical implications that must be carefully considered. Throughout history, artists, poets, and philosophers have drawn upon the myth of Perseus and Medusa to explore themes of beauty and monstrosity, heroism and hubris, vengeance and forgiveness. Its enduring relevance lies in its ability to provoke thought and evoke emotion, to challenge our perceptions of morality and mortality, and to illuminate the complexities of the human experience. In the hands of storytellers, the myth of Perseus and Medusa continues to evolve, adapting to cultural shifts and contemporary concerns while retaining its timeless resonance. It invites us to ponder our own capacity for heroism and villainy, reminding us that the line between them is often blurred and subject to interpretation. Ultimately, the myth of Perseus and Medusa stands as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, a mirror held up to humanity's collective consciousness, reflecting our fears, aspirations, and eternal quest for meaning. It challenges us to confront the shadows within ourselves and strive for understanding, compassion, and the courage to face our own Medusas, whatever form they may take. In the tapestry of ancient myths, there exists a tale that not only captivates with its heroics and monsters, but also resonates deeply in the realms of psychology and feminist discourse. A tale that offers insights into the human psyche and challenges the conventions of gender roles. This is the myth of Perseus and Medusa, a narrative rich with symbolism and allegory that continues to provoke thought and emotion through psychological and feminist interpretations. At its core, the myth presents Perseus as the archetypal hero, embarking on a quest that tests his courage and cunning against formidable adversaries. Central to his journey is his encounter with Medusa, the monstrous Gorgon whose gaze turns all who meet it to stone. In traditional interpretations, Perseus' slaying of Medusa is viewed as a triumph of male heroism, a demonstration of strength and valor that reaffirms his status as a hero among mortals and a champion favored by the gods. However, beneath the surface of this heroic narrative lies a complex interplay of psychological themes. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden cursed and transformed by Athena's wrath, embodies the duality of beauty and terror, allure and danger. Her petrifying gaze symbolizes the power of the unconscious mind, the fears and desires that lie hidden beneath the surface of human consciousness, waiting to be confronted and reconciled. Psychological interpretations of the myth suggest that Perseus' quest to slay Medusa can be seen as a metaphor for the journey of self-discovery and individuation. By confronting and overcoming the monstrous aspects of the psyche represented by Medusa, Perseus achieves a greater sense of integration and wholeness within himself. His use of the reflective shield, gifted by Athena, reflects his ability to confront his own inner demons and shadows, an act of psychological courage that resonates with individuals seeking to navigate their own inner landscapes. Moreover, the myth invites feminist interpretations that challenge traditional readings of Perseus' heroism and Medusa's monstrosity. In these interpretations, Medusa emerges as a tragic figure, a victim of patriarchal injustice and divine punishment. Her transformation into a monstrous Gorgon is often viewed as a metaphor for the silencing and marginalization of women's voices and agency in ancient societies. Feminist scholars argue that Medusa's petrifying gaze can be interpreted as a symbol of male fear and desire, the fear of female power and autonomy, and the desire to control and subdue it. Her decapitation by Perseus, wielding the tools of divine favor and masculine prowess, reinforces patriarchal narratives of conquest and domination. Yet, Medusa's story also serves as a powerful critique of these narratives, highlighting the ways in which women's bodies and identities have been weaponized and demonized throughout history. In contemporary feminist discourse, Medusa has been reclaimed as a symbol of empowerment and resistance, a figure who challenges traditional gender norms and subverts expectations. Her story encourages reflection on the intersections of gender, power, and identity, inviting us to consider how myths and narratives shape our understanding of ourselves and each other. Through psychological and feminist interpretations, the myth of Perseus and Medusa continues to resonate with modern audiences, offering a lens through which to explore timeless themes of identity, power dynamics, and the complexities of human relationships. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and biases, inviting empathy and introspection as we navigate the labyrinthine corridors of myth and meaning. In conclusion, the myth of Perseus and Medusa stands as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, a narrative that transcends time and culture to provoke thought, evoke emotion, and inspire new ways of understanding the human experience. It invites us to embrace complexity, confront our fears, and strive for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In the vast realm of human creativity, few tales have captured the imagination and inspired as many works of art and literature as the myth of Perseus and Medusa. This ancient narrative, woven with threads of heroism, tragedy, and supernatural intrigue, has transcended the epics to leave an indelible mark on the world of artistic expression. From the moment Perseus first set out on his perilous quest to slay the monstrous Gorgon, artists and writers have been captivated by the myth's potent symbolism and dramatic tension. It is a story that resonates deeply with themes of courage in the face of adversity, the struggle between good and evil, and the transformative power of mythological archetypes. The influence of the Perseus and Medusa myth can be seen across centuries of artistic endeavor, from ancient Greek pottery and sculpture to Renaissance paintings and modern reinterpretations. Artists have sought to capture the essence of Perseus' heroic journey and Medusa's tragic fate, each bringing their own unique vision and interpretation to the timeless narrative. In classical art, Perseus' victory over Medusa was often depicted in scenes of dynamic action and divine intervention. Ancient Greek pottery featured black figure and red figure designs illustrating Perseus wielding his sword against the fearsome Gorgon, while statues and reliefs portrayed the hero with the severed head of Medusa held aloft, a symbol of his triumph over monstrous forces and his status as a divine hero. During the Renaissance, the myth experienced a revival in the hands of master artists such as Benvenuto Cellini and Antonio Canova. Cellini's famous bronze statue of Perseus with the head of Medusa, created in the 16th century, captures the dramatic moment of Perseus' victory with astonishing realism and emotional intensity. The intricate details of Medusa's writhing snakes and Perseus' triumphant pose evoke a visceral reaction, highlighting the tension between horror and heroism that defines the myth. In literature, the myth of Perseus and Medusa has inspired countless adaptations and reinterpretations, each reflecting the cultural and philosophical currents of their time. From Ovid's Metamorphoses to contemporary novels and poetry, writers have explored the psychological complexities of the characters and the moral dilemmas inherent in their actions. One of the most famous literary adaptations is found in Ovid's Metamorphoses, where the story of Perseus and Medusa is retold with poetic elegance and mythological depth. Ovid delves into the motivations and emotions of the characters, offering insights into Perseus' quest for glory and Medusa's tragic transformation into a monster cursed by the gods. In more recent times, the myth has been reimagined in novels, plays, and films that explore its themes through modern lenses. Authors and filmmakers have brought new perspectives to the tale, questioning traditional interpretations of heroism and villainy, and challenging societal norms surrounding power, gender, and identity. One notable example is Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, where themes of creation and destruction echo the mythological themes of Medusa's curse and Perseus' quest for redemption. Shelley's exploration of the moral implications of scientific discovery and the consequences of unchecked ambition resonates with the myth's exploration of hubris and divine punishment. In cinema, adaptations such as the 1981 film Clash of the Titans and its 2010 remake have brought the epic scale and visual spectacle of the myth to audiences worldwide. These films showcase Perseus' journey from reluctant hero to triumphant champion, weaving together elements of mythology, fantasy, and adventure to create a cinematic experience that honors the spirit of the original tale while appealing to modern audiences. Beyond traditional art forms, the influence of the Perseus and Medusa myth can be seen in popular culture, fashion, and even psychology. The image of Medusa's head, with its writhing snakes and petrifying gaze, has become a potent symbol of feminine power and empowerment, challenging conventional notions of beauty and strength. In conclusion, the myth of Perseus and Medusa stands as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling and its ability to inspire creativity, provoke thought, and evoke deep emotional responses across cultures and centuries. Through its rich symbolism, complex characters, and timeless themes, the myth continues to captivate artists and audiences alike, inviting us to contemplate the eternal struggle between light and darkness, heroism and hubris, and the transformative power of mythological narratives in shaping our understanding of the world. In the vast tapestry of human culture, few stories possess the enduring power and emotional resonance of the myth of Perseus and Medusa. This ancient tale, rooted in Greek mythology, continues to weave its way through the fabric of modern society, leaving an indelible mark on art, literature, psychology, and popular culture. Its impact is profound, touching hearts and minds with its timeless themes of heroism, transformation, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. At its heart, the myth of Perseus and Medusa captivates with its elemental drama, a hero's quest fraught with danger and divine intervention, pitting mortal courage against monstrous adversaries. Perseus, the archetypal hero, embarks on a journey that transcends mere mortal ambition. His quest to slay the Gorgon Medusa is not merely a test of physical prowess, but a spiritual odyssey, challenging him to confront his deepest fears and inner demons. Medusa herself embodies a complex symbol of beauty twisted into monstrosity, a reflection of ancient fears and desires, and a cautionary tale of divine punishment. Her petrifying gaze symbolizes the power of the unknown and the shadowy depths of the human psyche, evoking both terror and pity in those who encounter her story. Across centuries, artists and writers have drawn inspiration from the myth, capturing its essence in timeless works of art and literature. From ancient Greek pottery depicting Perseus' heroic deeds to Renaissance masterpieces like Cellini's bronze statue, the myth has been a wellspring of creativity, inviting artists to explore its themes of heroism, sacrifice, and the triumph of the human spirit. In literature, the myth resonates through the pages of Ovid's Metamorphoses and beyond, offering poets and storytellers a canvas on which to paint vivid portraits of heroism and tragedy. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein echoes the myth's themes of creation and destruction, while contemporary authors weave its threads into novels that challenge and provoke. In cinema, the myth has found new life in adaptations such as Clash of the Titans, where modern audiences thrill to Perseus' epic battles and moral dilemmas. These films bring the myth's timeless themes to life with state-of-the-art special effects and cinematic spectacle, ensuring its continued relevance in the digital age. Beyond art and entertainment, the myth of Perseus and Medusa has left an indelible mark on psychology and popular culture. Medusa's image has become a potent symbol of feminine power and empowerment, challenging stereotypes and inspiring movements for gender equality. Her story invites reflection on the nature of fear and the power dynamics that shape our world. In psychology, the myth serves as a metaphor for the journey of self-discovery and personal growth, an exploration of the unconscious mind and the transformative power of facing one's fears. Perseus' use of the reflective shield gifted by Athena reflects a deeper truth about the human experience, that true heroism lies not in the conquest of external foes, but in the mastery of one's own inner demons. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of Greek mythology, and the myth of Perseus and Medusa in particular, lies in its ability to speak to universal truths and timeless themes. It invites us to contemplate the nature of heroism, the complexities of human emotion, and the eternal struggle between darkness and light. Through its rich symbolism and emotional depth, the myth continues to resonate with audiences of all ages and cultures, offering insights into the human condition and inspiring creativity across disciplines. In conclusion, the myth of Perseus and Medusa stands as a testament to the power of storytelling to transcend time and culture, touching hearts and minds with its profound truths and timeless themes. Its impact on art, literature, psychology, and popular culture is a testament to its enduring relevance and ability to provoke thought, evoke emotion, and inspire new generations to explore the depths of human experience.